Good morning, guys. All right. Well, good morning, guys. Creatures of habit, maybe we're just going to stay on this piece of black tape line right here and keep speaking from this point right here. So I know it's a beautiful morning, and so I know we're scattered everywhere, but our sound guys, Matt and all them, have got us a speaker outside. So can everybody back in the back here? Is everybody good? Okay, good deal. It's better that you don't see us anyways. We can be good looking. So all you got to do is hear what we got to say. So anyways, man, what a good morning. So guys, appreciate y'all being out here. I know there was quite a few new faces rolling through again. So that's always exciting to see. And obviously, welcome to Christ-Coffee-Campfire this morning. Couple things. Who are the new? Trav. Of course, you snuck in the back. Yeah. So we'll point you out so everybody hears. So hey, who's the new guys this morning? Raise hands. I ain't gonna make you get up and sing and dance. So all right. Like we always say, obviously good to have you new guys and good to see you. Grateful that you took that chance, took that invite to show up here. And most of all, I appreciate you guys that invited them. That's our goal, man. Just being fishers of men and going out here and gathering more guys to share Jesus with at the end of the day. Being that light, being bold to go out and to invite somebody to something like this, and so appreciate you guys and good job for doing that. You know, when Joe and I started this deal,
that's the choir.
Get in trouble no matter what. Yeah. That's why he sits right here, so I can keep my eye on him. So. Anyways, when Joe and we started this deal, you know, it was there was 12 of us that gathered around that little fire ring out there by the swimming pool, and just way too early in the morning for me, but we thought let's get together and just gather up some guys and just visit, right? Just share a little life together, drink some coffee, get done early so we can go on about our days. And like I said, that was 12 of us. I don't know what we got here today. I know Noah's doing a pretty good job of getting everybody tickets, so we should have a pretty accurate number. So I'll let you give that to your dad and do the math on that. And anyways, you know, this deal's growing just because of you guys. You all going out and being fishers and getting more guys and bringing more guys out to this, and then just that whole multiplication deal. Hey, Darren slipped in here. So, whole multiplication deal is just going on here, and I mean, just look around. This is awesome. So I'm grateful for each and every one of you guys being here this morning and for taking out some time to come out here. So, couple things. Y'all got to use the restroom. Maybe if the numbers keep going here, I'm going to have to add a third one. But, hey, it's nice out. If you got to go 10-100, you can find a pickup out there. Not my pickup, but you can go pee by a pickup out there. 10-200, please use the Johnny on the spots out here on the end of the shed. So, or the cornfield. The corn's pretty tall, so you can slip out there. So, anyways, there's the restrooms. We'll eat breakfast here after we get done. If you guys got to leave, and I don't think anybody's ever taken me up on this deal, but if you got to leave early, don't leave hungry. Come up here, get your plate filled up, and then head on out, okay? So don't leave hungry. Got biscuits and gravy there and eggs, so should be good to go there. First guy through the line, take the lids off, throw them on the totes underneath there to open that up so we can go. I wanted to say, talking about eggs, I got two things. I take care of all the hats. So if you want a hat, which a lot of guys want hats, there's a cord up here on the table. It's the white one, not the yellow one, but, just fill it out, please. Fill it out clearly and accurately. Take the time, fill it out so it's easier for me to take care of. And, just slip it in this box up here. There's a red box up here. Just put that in there and then we'll divvy it out. Next month, I'll have your hat and, it'll be clipped and in the salon in here for you to pick up, okay? If you've ordered a hat, and I didn't catch you this morning, I know I told a lot of guys, but if you ordered a hat in the past, go in here. Hats are all in the salon in here, so pick those up. And if you owe me money, pay me money. If you don't, take the hat, okay?
If you prepay, clip your money to it.
Yeah.
And drop it in there.
Yep. So, I asked Joe if it was all right to bring this up, so if anybody has a beef with it, take it up with Joe. He gave me permission.
It's worth it, you want it.
Yeah. So, hey, I upped my flock of chickens to provide enough eggs for you guys for this deal. And they are running me out of room in my fridge with all the eggs that we're getting now. So I think we made up 20 dozen this morning eggs. And I probably got another 20 dozen in my fridge in there. If anybody's interested, wants some eggs, if you throw a couple bucks in there, in the fridge, in the little cubby hole deal in there, you throw a couple bucks in there, take a couple dozen eggs or a dozen eggs, and that'll help me buy some feed for them chickens. But by all means, if you ain't got the money to pay for eggs, take the eggs anyways. I need room in my fridge, so, okay? So there's a bunch in there. And they're farm eggs, there's crap on them, and some of them may not be a full dozen, you just have to work through it. So anyways, they're in there if you guys are interested in them. So, one more thing I want to say about Christ-Coffee-Campfire is I know there's a lot of new guys out here that I don't know, so I don't know how you'll take this. There's a lot of older guys here that I don't think you're gonna have an issue with me saying this, but we started this deal as well because Men's Encounter is what changed my life, changed Joe's life. It gave me a whole new view. There's guys sitting in this room that Jim and Doug and these guys that watching them guys live their life for the Lord, and they're working in the environments that I work in. Was a lineman. So there's a lot of linemen here. You know that environment. You know the guys you deal with every day, that you work with every day. The mechanics, the truck drivers, the farmers. You guys know that environment, right? You know how rough it is. And boy, if you start living your life for the Lord and being bold in that, sometimes it doesn't work out the best for you, right? You catch a lot of flack about it. You lose some friends over it, right? Man, I got more friends and I know more guys now than I've ever known in my entire life. I got so many guys that I know that I could count on that are true brothers in my life, that if crap hits the fan, I got guys that I can call that I know will be there and hear me out, help me out, and not just get me drunk to get me feeling better and forget things for a while, but give me good solid advice, right? That can give me a good path, good direction. So I want you guys to know, and Joby Martin said this, so I'm going to say it. If Joby could say it, I could say it. Because I just heard this last week. To walk this walk for Christ, you guys don't have to leave your testicles in the truck to come up here to live your life for Christ, right? That's not what living your life for Christ is all about, right? There's men around here, and bigger men than I've ever known in my life, that I look up to now. And I say that because back in the day, that's where I was at. I was like, I don't think I want to do that. Them guys are weak. They need a crutch. They need this. They need that. I don't need any of that, right? I'm a man. I can walk on my own. I can do my own thing. I ain't true. I ain't doing nothing without him, right? And I want you guys to know that. I hope that made sense. So anyways, I want to encourage you guys. find some buddies around here, some real men, to hang with, and guys that I guarantee you will sharpen you and make you a better man than you was yesterday. So that's all of our goals. So anyways, I'm done. I'll turn it over to
Hang on,
Joe.
you gonna give them hats away?
Yeah. So, yeah. I
111.
got on my pedestal there for a second.
We got 111 guys.
111 guys.
No, go ahead.
I'll have lures next month. I was gonna bring some, and my wife was like, that may seem kind of pushy. And he's like, I thought you would bring some, so I will bring some next month.
There you go, guys.
So, anyways, so 111, and we got,
Between 289, 89 that top number.
so 89.
That's where we started.
Okay, that's where we started at.
Uh-huh.
So how about, 110. 110.
I've got one already, give it to someone else.
Okay, well, appreciate you. I'll get you a cup or shirt or something if you want that. Look me up.
We got it.
How about, well, whoever walked in front of him, 109. 109.
Right there, Jim.
Yeah. So, I'm giving away 2 of these Royal Blues, these blue and white hats. Dang right. Boys in blue are kicking butt, right? They last night smoked the Blue Jays and hitting run 500 right now. So I think things are looking pretty good for the Royals. So that's why we're doing. I know there's a lot of Royals here in 94. 94.
And the guy that came in after me just got elected.
Colin.
There we go. So, all right. Always. All right, guys. There we go. Joe.
All right. Morning, guys.
Morning.
All right. So, all you've been here before, you know this spiel I do about this merch table and the shirts and the cups and the hats and all of that, and how it's all just a means. So for you guys that are new, it's just so you're aware, we're not into selling stuff. We're just into spreading the truth of who Jesus was.
And so sometimes,
Those make me look. Yes. Thank you, Mike. Amen.
so
Really, that's all this stuff is. If you're interested in any of it, same deal with the hats and the cups. Come up here, and this whole table is really for you guys as resources. Just come up here and dig in. Scott mentioned fellowship a lot, and there is a list of small groups up here of guys that would love to fellowship
with that. Okay. That red box there, as Scott said, is where all of your stuff goes.
I need to mention
Elaborate a little bit on
men's encounter, what he said. We've got one coming up, and right there, that hashtag, Doug put it up here this morning. This is BFCC's. This is in October 17th through 19th. How late can they sign up, Doug?
I don't know that answer.
Probably.
Yeah,
like before.
I was going to say it. So anyway, yeah, guys, if you haven't been, listen, it is so vital. What do they do there? They're going to go over 14 areas of a man's life, biblically and practically. That's the best way I can describe it. Like the textbook is his book. And so if you're
Interested at all?
please come, because it will do some things for you. Let's say he will do some things for you through it. Let's put it that way. Ladies encounter. There's a ladies encounter called Ashes to Beauty going on down at Lebanon in let's see, that'll be September. My wife will be going. If you have any of your
Lady folk who would love to go, let me know. Just come see me.
and I can, I believe it's 19th through 21st, what I got wrote down.
And so,
Anyway,
this board's white.
board notifications. If you have any kind of events and stuff, please come up here like these guys have done. I do want to mention lamp keepers. To any of you guys who have women that are like, what are you getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning going out this deal? Trying to figure it out. Well, listen, there's a ladies' version of this, if you will. It's kind of a sister ministry that was started by Wayne's wife, and it's taken off, man. And invite your ladies out here. They'd love to see them. The rest of it, just if you've got events, please put them up there so the guys can come along and screenshot them.
I know how big the footprint really can be.
And it's really astonishing what's being done through this ministry. It started with 12 guys by a swimming pool. Now it's not just all of you guys showing up. And I was just looking this morning, so I want to say thank you to everyone that's online that watches these things. I had a few little stats. On Facebook, we've had 8,863 views, 736 followers. 65% are men, so guess what the rest are? Ladies. They want to know. They want to see what you guys are doing out here, so guess what? They're looking.
Ladies, lamp keepers, go.
I thought that was pretty cool. You know, so this, and my whole reason for saying all this isn't to say, look at all these big numbers. It's to say, look how big the footprint can go. You know, this thing, I mean, all we got to do is put one foot in front of the other and do the work. And God will do the rest. He does the multiplying. So, anyway, there's also a YouTube page. And so I think we've got 46 of these events on there now, if I counted right. So thank you, especially to Dwayne and Matt and William Jones and the tech guys, because Scott wouldn't do it, and neither would I, because we don't know how. So without these guys, you know, it takes all of us, and that presence is going out. And really the whole thing, the whole reason we're doing all this is to bring the message of the gospel. And
Glorify Jesus.
so, if you
Want to? And
somebody wonders what you're doing, or you feel like sharing and you don't want to walk up to them with one of them, send them to YouTube, because they'll look on there. Okay, I really think
that's about all I got.
God, if we're ready to roll, I didn't forget nothing, did I?
Good.
No, we'll catch you next month.
We'll do it next month.
That's right. All right, guys, here we go.
Alright guys, I'm excited to have Matt Glover here to speak to us today. So he hit me up, he's been here a couple times, and it didn't take you very long. He said, hey, I got something I want to share. So anyway, so here he is, so please welcome Matt.
Sweet. Thanks, guys. Oh, bouncing off what Joe says, I don't know how many studies have shown if the father gets back into church and starts getting in with the Almighty, it starts changing the whole family. But he's right. That's an interesting fact about the number of ladies that are checking it out. So I first heard about Encounter through Jeff Falkenberry. So if you guys are in the fishing world, it's kind of my life at the moment. Jesus obviously number one, but that's kind of what I do. But we would take my son River down to Truman Lake for his birthday every year, and Jeff Falkenberry actually was the first one that shared about an encounter. But it's a great, great thing, something to definitely check out. So I just want to thank Scott and Joe for this opportunity. And I'm going to open up in prayer, guys, and then we're going to get going, all right? Lord, thank you for this beautiful morning. Thank you for all these guys coming out and just sharing a little bit of their Saturday morning with us. And God, we know that you're here. Your word says when we gather, and this is the church, Lord, when your people gather, it's not about a building, it's about your people. And we just ask you to be, just impress on our hearts, Lord. Speak through me, Lord. Help me get out of the way and just say what you want to say. And I'm only here because of you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. So my name is Matt Glover. I'm married to a beautiful brunette named Stacy, and we have two kids. River is 8, and River just turned 8, and Lakely is 6. She turned 6 back in May. I have a twin brother. He's 2 minutes older. I used to hear about that all the time. Not so much anymore. But he used to hold that one over my head. He's actually on an Alaskan cruise for their anniversary, so he's kind of bummed that he couldn't be here for this, but hey, Alaska's pretty sweet. So, and 2 older brothers, Danny and Steve. So we grew up, I grew up a pastor's kid. I grew up in Lee Summit. My dad pastored Faith Baptist Church for 50 years, I think, 51 years. And when I start out, I'm going to turn this on because I don't have my hot wife here to tell me to shut up. So I do a Sunday studio session, and she gives me the 5 minutes because I try not to make it go too much longer than that. So she's not here. But I just want to start out with, I had a great childhood. I love my dad, and it was cool just as God worked in my life as I got older, and I actually got to kind of reconnect with my dad. But growing up was a little strict as a pastor's kid. At my dad's funeral a couple years ago, my older brother made the kind of funny joke that when we were growing up, kids would ask him, is it really like the movie Footloose? And I don't know, we couldn't go to the movies, so we couldn't see it. So, like I said, my dad wasn't perfect, but I do want to say this. And it was through discipleship when I came back to the Lord several years later that my discipler was just like, hey, just live your life by this book. Then, because I would say, I don't want to do that. That's why he goes, if you keep saying that, that's exactly who you're going to end up like. Just be like Jesus, and you'll be the best dad you can be. So, but tell your boys, and I learned this in men's group, I do want to thank Jake Sutherland. He's not here today. Jake's a good dude, man. Last fall, I signed up for Jake's men's group at church, and I go to Abundant Life and Lee Summit, but my wife and I are part of a home church in Lone Jack, just south of Lone Jack. But anyway, Jake's a good dude. He's in Wisconsin right now at camp, but man, Jake's a good guy, man. Like, growing up a pastor's kid, I saw it a lot. You see a lot of people playing church, and they get good at playing church. And that's why I like Jake, because Jake don't hold no bars back. He lets you have it, and it's what you need to hear. It's what I needed to hear. That's why when there was like several different groups I was trying to pick, I just kind of felt led towards Jay. There was another one, and then after I heard Jake speak, I was like, that's why I'm in this class. I knew right away. So, but it was kind of strict growing up, okay? So I had a lot of head knowledge about God, right? So I had all the rules without the relationship, okay? So, and you had to live by this standard because everybody's watching, okay? So you just constantly, you do get good at hiding stuff, but you're just constantly trying to please everybody, and just a very strict environment. And honestly, I just gave up. Like, I could never live up to that standard of perfection, so I just stopped trying. So, and like I said, my dad wasn't perfect either. It's just, how do I explain it? When you get to a point where God breaks you, okay, let me keep moving on to I will come back to that. At 10 years old, I made a profession of faith at church camp. And I think a lot of kids that grew up in church, at least when I did, they say a prayer. Honestly, guys, I don't know. Like, I knew what the preacher was saying that night, and I didn't want to go there. Okay, so, and I went back at the altar call, made that profession. I can't tell you my life was any different. Was I saved and not surrendered? I don't know. But I do know that I tried doing my own thing for many years, and it was horrendous. And it didn't lead anywhere but heartache and a lot of bad roads and lost time, honestly, that I wish I had back. I will say this about growing up with Pops. And like I said, later on, Dad kind of got after he retired, he got Alzheimer's, but just through life events, I actually had to move back in with him for about 6 months, and I was just able to reconnect with Dad. It was a sweet time that now I cherish, because we just got to talk about a lot of things that never really got talked about that probably should have been talked about. But Dad was always good about giving me the truth. I knew the truth, right? And I knew, even when I was doing what I was doing, that in the back of my mind, I just had like, I know that ain't right. You guys know what I'm saying? Like, you just know. And so I was thankful for that. I was thankful. And like I said, it wasn't like a bad childhood. It's just, and I'm not perfect either. I'm not, especially now that I got kids. I don't know where he's walking around out there by that Nova. But I am not perfect. My dad ain't perfect. We forgave each other and we moved on. My discipler at the time. And guys, that's a big part. And I'll get into that in just a sec. But, well, I'll just get into it now. I made the profession. Dad gave me the truth, so I know the truth. And then just like I was saying through life stuff, I came to a point in my life where I realized, and I think this is the surrender part, where I could not make it. The way I was running my life, I was bombing it, and it wasn't going to work. So my twin brother at the time was actually in discipleship at Abundant Life. It was a Wednesday night. I called him. Guys, to be honest with you, I was probably half-cocked. And I said, hey, can I go to church with you tonight? And he's like, well, it's like discipleship. It's not really church. I'm like, I don't care. I just knew, like, I just felt that drawing. God will draw you, okay? The Holy Spirit draws you. And I felt that drawing, and I didn't care. I just wanted to go. And after that event that night, or after going there with him that night, so we were heading back home. It's a long story. My brother's a trapper. And you guys, I'm assuming most of you guys are outdoorsmen. You guys know what a trapper is. He needed freeze-proof dirt. So we're literally in a cornfield at 7 Highway and 50. And he's gathering up dirt that he takes home and dries out and then puts his snare or his footholds down in it so they don't freeze up. So there's your little trapper bit. If he was here, I'd have him explain it, but he's in Alaska. But I hit my knees in that cornfield and just surrendered my life. And said, Lord, take over. I don't know what happened when I was 10. I don't know if I accepted you. And right now, I don't give a rip. I just want to be different than I am right now. And I ain't never been the same. I ain't perfect. Nobody's perfect. I still struggle. I don't know, somebody, I told River this. Wherever he's at this morning on the way here. I ain't nobody special. I'm just a normal dude. Is trying to lead my family for the Lord, and I am thankful to Him every day because, especially with this business, like, it's all from God. The reason you get to wake up and breathe. I heard this week, this was cool, I've heard the one video about Yahweh when you the first words out of your breath or out of your mouth when you're born is Yahweh, like the breath of air, you're breathing in life. But I never heard that when you die, it's the same thing. So you literally start your life breathing the breath of God and when you're on your way out. And it changed my life. That night, I surrendered. And it's never been the same since. I haven't been perfect, but it changed. And you can't have an encounter with Jesus and it not change your life. So if you're here today and you're like me, and you're that guy, maybe you guys are here, maybe there's, in a group this size, I'm sure there is people that don't know what I'm talking about. But if you're that guy that like grew up like I did, and I just want to ask you, because I don't think we're far from meeting Jesus himself, like, have you surrendered? It says you must be born again. It does not matter. And look, I grew up in this super, like, traditional world, okay? Like Baptist, Pentecostal, Lutheran, it doesn't matter. That is not in the Bible. He says to Nicodemus, you must be born again. That's what he says. I'm not saying there's nothing bad with all that. I'm just saying it's a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. That's what it is. And you can know, and I say this on my Sunday studio sessions, I'll get into that in a sec. You can know where you're going when you're dying. You don't have to worry about it. I saw that so much in COVID. I was a truck driver. You're a truck driver, right? Kime? Okay. I was a truck driver 20 years. Heavy haul. I was journeyman heavy hauler, flatbedder for most of it. That guy right back there in the gray, I trucked with him, taught him how to flatbed. I forgot where I was going with that. Sorry, guys. I'm nervous as all get out. You're the first group that I got a couple of these lined up, and I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't sleep a wink last night. I'm so nervous. I wish my twin brother was here, man. I'm so nervous. I talk on Sundays but this is kind of different. So sorry guys, you're the first ones. If I bombed it, I bombed it. Then you may never forget it. Look, when I got out of the cornfield, God started bringing people into my life that immediately started helping me untangle my mess. Okay, so a big part of that was community. He just said it. You can't do it alone. You cannot do it alone. You're never going to make it. You may have willpower and you may make it a long time, but you ain't going to make it. You got to get in community, and discipleship for me was huge because my discipler at the time, he's a missionary in Madagascar now. He's an awesome dude. Phil and Val Long. Life changed my life. I mean, Jesus changed my life, but God will use people in your life. And Phil was that guy for me, okay? So discipleship was huge. And I would tell him, well, I thought it was like this. I thought this is what you were supposed to. And he's like, we'll find that in the Bible and let's talk about it next week. And he always drove it back to the Bible, which was big time for me because I had a lot of things, and not saying that like that, it was wrong. It's just kind of more of that tradition stuff that maybe doesn't need, like, guys, I grew up like, you didn't come to church with tattoos, earrings, you wore a dress, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was super strict. And that ain't what it's like. I'm rolling with Jesus. And that's fine. Like, that is the truth. And you want to change somebody, change them for Jesus. Like, if people, I think, spend as much time talking about Jesus as they do politics, like, we may be, God's waiting. I'm just saying. So I had discipleship was huge. God used that. Then I meet Stacy, and whether she was a teacher, like, and I was saying I was a truck driver, and Frank kind of got to see some of this, like, and Frank kind of got to live some of this with me because I started doing it when I was working with Frank. I started using my job, and I love the Colossians 3:23, like, and whether it was a truck or whatever profession I had, if the younger guys are here, like, you want to be the best employee, work for Jesus. Like, and you'll be the best employee. I'm telling you, like, guys want good workers right now. I could use a painter right now. I know that. And they ain't out there. Like, just just follow Jesus, work for him, do it the best you can, and God will bless that, and watch what happens. You know, the Bible says you don't have to ask for a promotion. He will promote you. You just do what God tells. That's why I don't worry right now. There's lure guys painting now everywhere. I don't worry about all that stuff. It's kind of like politics. I got stuff to do. God gave me a mission, and I do it, and I don't care. You know, I just try to stay focused and do it. But we try to use our jobs as our mission field. So, like I said, she was a teacher. And you're going to get this. There are forklift guys and places that I would start tipping forklift drivers. Okay, me and Stacy were praying about this. This was before I owned my own company. I had money. I missed the money that I had when I was a trucker, I'll tell you that. But I would just through prayer and stuff, I told Stacy, I said, hey, I think I'm going to start tipping these guys and then giving them a track. And some of those forklift guys, I'm like, buddy, I want to kick you off this flight. Getting up at 2 a.m. I mean, I know what it's like, guys. I did it. Like, truck drivers, I'm going to give this real quick. Truck drivers do move this country. And I'm not just saying that because I was one, but they are some of the hardest working people I've ever known in my life. They just are. But to tip some of these knuckleheads, but I would, because I don't deserve it either. And so I would do, and I would just start sharing Jesus. And with somebody, I try to get a little interaction. Will somebody read Acts 1:8? And I get somebody to read Acts 1:8. Doesn't matter what version, just read it. What I noticed is when I started sharing Jesus with people, has anybody got it?
Got it.
All right, go ahead.
But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witness in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth.
Yep. So what I noticed when I started sharing Jesus with people, like the power, you guys want to live a supernatural life. Like, I got to be honest with you, I just got kind of bored of waking up and going to work every day. Like, it just got old. I'm like, there's got to be prepared to be the weird dude in the room. So now I embrace it. I'm the weird artist guy, so I can just kind of roll with it. So I went from truck driver to artist, and so, but it's just weird. But a supernatural power will come over you, and you can, I'm telling you, I don't know how to explain it because it's supernatural. God gives you the words. The Holy Spirit will give you the words. If you know Him, that's your mission in life, is to share Jesus, share hope, not politics, hope. And he will give you the words to do that. Now, I was saying about the forklift guys. So 2 years ago, living on mission, we just began to feel like we were on a family vacation, honestly, down at Branson. And I remember sitting on the back porch down there just talking to Stacey. I'm like, man, I really feel like this conviction. I just feel something different. I really don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that means. My dad, when we were younger, my twin brother and I have been obsessed with fishing, okay? Like, it's just the water is always drawn. It's always been something about fishing. I love boats. I love the smell of the lake. I love anything that has to do with water and fish. I've always been wired like that. I did duck hunt a lot. I used to duck hunt all the time. I still like duck hunting, but I love fishing. Dad would take us fishing all the time, and I actually rode with Micah 2 years ago, my twin brother, because I just felt like something was coming on the horizon. I didn't know what. I thought maybe he has a side trapping business, and I thought maybe it would be going to work for him. So I was actually trying to pull him away from what he was doing at USDA, and that didn't work. And I told Stacey, I'm like, that's not what it is. I don't know what it is, but that's not what it is. But Micah did tell me something that day in the work truck. He said, it could be something totally out of left field. So when I was young, when Mike and I were younger, there was a sweet lady. She's still alive. She's like 80-something, lives in Pleasant Hill, and she still paints acrylics on canvas. And she taught me and my brother, when we were younger, how to paint on canvas. So I did have that as a background. Never, after the age of like 13, never picked up a brush, didn't think one thing about it. So I bought an airbrush to hook up some. I keep looking at him because I know he lives in Lone Jack. I know he's a waterfowler. I bought an airbrush to touch up duck decoys. Used it one time, thought it was retarded, threw it back in the box, and never thought one thing about it. Okay, so when I started feeling like something was, just a lot of prayer, guys. We try, Stacey and I are like that every day. Like I said, I'm thankful for the breath I get. So we try to plan our day with God's wisdom. And I was praying in the basement. I was actually pouring crappie jigs with my 2 kids. And in the corner of a basement, there was nothing there at the time, just a fold-out card table and my melting pot. And I'm pouring jigs, and I turned around and saw that airbrush, and I thought, I wonder if there's anything I can do with that. Has anybody had Don Frank do a fish? You have? Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. Okay, Don Frank is probably the best fish taxidermist I've ever seen in my life. The guy is phenomenal. He's retired now. He lives up in Smithfield, but he did it for 40-some years, and he's phenomenal. I saw that airbrush, and I thought, I wonder what I can do with that. So met up with Don, and he kind of, I didn't know nothing. I just thought, wonder if I can use the airbrush to paint, and I think the fish is cool, and maybe that's what I could do. Lures were never on my radar. I never thought one thing about doing fishing lures. It was just painting the fish, and so started doing that. Don gave me some old stuff to practice on, and then a guy from church actually said, hey, you should paint fishing lures. So I'm not a lure builder, I'm just a painter. So I started painting fishing lures. My brother and I we'd already been trolling for crappie for like 8-9 years. Anybody crappie fishing here? Anybody trolling for crappie right now? I know he is. River. All right, if you guys don't know, it's the easiest way to catch them this time of year. In the summertime, May to August, late August, Truman Lake, county lakes. Like I said, I grew up in Lee Summit, so I'm familiar with all the county lakes, but they're crushing them at Lake of the Ozarks and Truman right now. Throw a trolling crankbait. I sell some, but there's a lot of companies that make them. Throw it out there as far as you can behind the boat. It's literally this easy, I'm telling you. Throw it out behind the boat as far as you can. 8-pound line. That part is crucial. 8-pound line as far as you can, and set the rod down in the boat with something heavy so it doesn't get drug in, and just start trolling about 1.6 miles an hour. And that part's crucial right now too. They want it 1.6, and you'll smoke them. I mean, it's just crazy. It's fun with kids. And sometimes I don't come here on the Saturdays because I try to take people fishing. That's what I was talking about, living on mission with a job. Because I'll take a lot of people, work obviously during the week, so I'll take them on a Saturday morning. But I painted with Don, And through a lot of prayer and honestly supernatural events, I don't have time to get in right now. I could write a whole book on that. Just prayer with my wife a lot. We start Glover Lures. And I remember at the time I was mowing the grass in the back, and I'm thinking, there's no way. There's no way. Like, this is never, like, and I knew, though, I've learned to know when the Holy Spirit's talking to me. And I knew that was the direction where I was like, if he doesn't come through, I'm dead meat. Because for a blue collar guy without a college career, trucking was pretty good. Okay. And I was good at trucking. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying 1.5 million miles, no accidents. I knew how to haul freight. And I was working for the Lord. So I tried for that. I tried to be the best I could be. So I say give that up, and that sounds arrogant. Now I know when you truly die, you live. Because God had this waiting. I don't even want to think, when I said lost time earlier, that's what I'm talking about. I wish I'd have surrendered a long time ago. Doesn't mean God can't use you. Doesn't matter how old you are in this era right here today. It does not matter. If you're a grandparent, you're here for a reason. You're here for a time such as now. So, and you have a purpose for being here. So, it was very hard for us because we knew what we were getting into, if that makes sense. Okay? So, but we wanted to trust God. We wanted to live on mission. Job 37, I get asked sometimes, River was working for a memory verse sticker on his bottle. And Job 37:14, and I get asked sometimes, why Job 37:14? Job 37:14 is usually what they say. Falkenberry thought that was a good one too. He's like, Job 37:14, huh? I like it out of this version. I'm going to read it. Because when River was practicing that for his memory verse, I'm like, dadgum, that'd be a good verse for a fishing lure company. It says, listen to this, Job. Stand still and consider the wondrous works of God. And I liked it because nobody stands still anymore. We're all so busy, and like I was saying, sometimes on Saturdays I take people fishing. A lot of people want to go fishing with me, and I try to use that now. We had a real small boat for Lake Jacomo. My twin brother and I knew with the boys growing up we were going to need a bigger boat, so we started saving, started praying. Nothing. I called Mike at one night and I said, hey, why don't we FaceTime with the boys every night and pray about it, and pray that if God blesses us with a bigger boat, we can use it to bless other people. And he did. The next day we found our boat. So I try to take people out. But we try to use the company to expand his kingdom. That's all we try to do with Glover Lures. It's not about selling out of guys. I can't keep up. It's crazy what God's done. Whatever you see on social, that is all Jesus. Like it's bananas. I never in my wildest dreams fathomed I would ever paint as many lures as I painted. Like it's all God. He is the one doing it. And I just pray that he keeps us humble and and I pray that, you know what I mean? Because we just rely on him. When I'm out with the boat, I'm about done. When I'm out with the boat, with people in the boat, you got them trapped. They can't go nowhere. And look, I just want to end with this. And where are they going to go? So look, I know all the witnessing ways people I don't know about all that. I just know like I was saying, it's the supernatural life. The Holy Spirit will guide you. And when you're talking to them, you don't have to thump them with the Bible. Just honestly, just love people. That's one thing I've learned the most. If you just love on people, they respond to that. They really do. But I get them in the boat, and I just try to use, sometimes they'll ask about the verse, or sometimes in Psalms 19:1 it says that the heavens declare his glory. So I'll bounce off that, and I'll use that too, because if you guys fish or in the outdoors, you know the sun sets and the sun rises. They're gorgeous. I'm an artist. There ain't nobody that's got color like God. Forget it. Nobody can replicate what he does. Right. The colors in a fish, we went to Powell Gardens this week. The colors on a butterfly's wing There's nobody replicating that. I don't care how good you are, he is the master artist. So we just try to use God's creation when I'm out with guys that aren't, and don't thump them in the head. Just love on them and wait for the time. Like, you'll know, I just went out with Brent for Z. He was the editor for the Kansas City Star. He wrote an article for Wired to Fish. Just look for the time, and it will happen. God will, and like I said, you don't have to thump them, just ease it in there. And then and you can tell, you can read guys. Some guys, you know, and that's fine. And you may get dug at. They're gonna dig at you. Guys and that's fine. Just get some thick skin. You'll be all right. I just want you to know that your past may not be perfect. And you're not perfect now, but God's looking for you to put your yes on the table. He's just looking for guys that are willing to go all in. I'm telling you, when you die, you truly live. Like, I can't. Life is fun. It's scary, guys. It's hard. It's the hardest I've ever worked, and I'm used to working hard. I would put in 14, 15 hours a day. That's just, I was used to it. That's what I did. I'm not, he knows. He does it now too. Like that, but it's hard. But we have Jesus. And if you guys don't have Jesus, if you're here today and you're like, what is, guys, I'm just telling you, it's a simple message. Sometimes I think we overcomplicate it. It's a very simple message. He came. I wear it in every order. When you order a lure order, and my wife and I package it, we put our sticker in there, and then everybody gets a bracelet, like the Robertson boys. I think there was some up here. But it literally is that simple. He came, he died, he arose, he ascended, and he's coming back. And it says the faith of a child, and you'll be saved. So it's that simple, guys. If you haven't made that decision, if you're thinking about going to Encounter, I was like, go. It could change your life. So I thank you guys for letting me come. Sorry I bumbled through some of that. So nervous. But I appreciate that.